So with you guys, you're in a video, back in the live stream. If I get too far into it, I want to apologize about being late. My internet was tripping. Um, my internet was just tripping, so I do apologize about me being late onto the stream. And I should have streamed yesterday. I do apologize about that. Just yeah, um, yeah, I do apologize about that. But yeah, quick verse of the day, and we'll get right into today's live stream. And let's go ahead and do that. So this is from Proverbs 15:22. It says as follows: plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they do succeed. So you need advice in order for things to succeed in this world. You can't do everything on your own. If you can do everything on your own, without any advice, then you will be unstoppable, right? You'll be God Almighty, but we need advice. So let's talk Brian Thomas Jr. today. Um, I know I'm a day late. I apologize about that, but let's talk Brian Thomas Jr. in this live stream. So, uh, Diane Rossini said this yesterday about Brian Thomas Jr. And it's very interesting she said this because the way she said it, it seems like he's not really available. It's like they might trade him if they really need to trade him, type of thing. But they're fielding calls to what people are wanting to trade for him for. I don't know what his value is. I don't know what they value him at, but we'll find out as time gets along. But yeah, so this is Brian Thomas Jr. It's from Bleacher Report. It says as follows here. Amid a disappointing start to his sophomore season, the Jaguars are at least willing to hear trade inquiries about wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. Per the Athletics, Diana Rossini, who also worked for the Washington Redskins for a little bit, Jaguars are listening on calls for the second year wide receiver, even though a deal is considered highly unlikely. A member of the loaded receiver class in the 2024 NFL Draft, Thomas had an outstanding debut season. He finished third in the NFL with 1,282 receiving yards, tied for sixth with 10 touchdowns. When the Jaguars added Travis Hunter with the number 2 pick in this year's draft, it was assumed it would create more opportunities for Thomas because opposing defense would have about two dynamic playmakers. Makes sense, right? Instead, Thomas has been frustratingly inconsistent through 7 weeks. The LSU alum has one game with more than 5 catches and at least 90 yards. He has 6 games with at least 90 yards. He has 6 games with at least 90 yards in 2024. Among players with at least 50 targets this season, Thomas's 41.8% success rate and 49.1 catch rate are the second worst marks in the NFL. Jerry Judy's the only player behind him with a 32.7% success rate and 42.3 catch rate, 22 receptions on 52 targets. One of the big problems for Thomas has been catching the football. He has been credited with an NFL high 9 drops. Wow, that's a lot of drops on 55 targets this season. Not surprised that opposing teams will look to capitalize on Thomas having a down season, hoping the Jaguars might sell low to add future draft capital after giving up a first 2026 first round pick to the Cleveland Browns, a part of package to move up to draft Travis Hunter. That's why I look into moving. They want to recoup some of that draft capital from the Travis Hunter trade. This makes perfect sense. There's no reason for the Jaguars to sell too low on Thomas right now. He is only 23, 1 year removed from having one of the best receiving seasons in franchise history on a rookie contract with at least 2 more years, plus a fifth-year option in 2028. That is also true. They don't have to trade him for low. But He's not a free agent, so you have to trade for him. What up? What up? Huh? Huh? So the question is here: would I trade for Brian Thomas Jr.? Yes. Would I give up a first round pick for him? Yes. I'm gonna give you guys 5 trade packages in today's live stream, and you can let me know the one that you think is best. The first trade package is as follows. Sound like a display or something, but I don't have a display right now. I didn't have time. But the first one that I formulated was a second round pick in 2027. We don't have a second round pick for 2026. Keep that in mind. We don't have our second round pick from the Laramie Tunsil trade. Second round pick in 2027, a 6th round pick in 2026, Brandon Coleman and Deron Payne in exchange for Brian Thomas Jr. in a 2027 4th round pick. That was my first trade package, right? He's 23 years old. He's came up 1,300-yard season. This ain't a tough call for me. His best friend is Jaden Daniels. No, it's a tough call. Make the move if you can make if he's available. Number 2, a first round pick straight up. A 2026 first round pick straight up. Nothing else. Nothing extra. You don't get a first and a third. Nothing else. Nothing else involved. Nothing else. I'll put this in the comment section too. I'll pin it for you guys. So I'll put it in when I'm done giving all the packages. So first one was Brandon Coleman, Deron Payne, 2027 second round pick, 2026 6th round pick, going to the Jags. Jags give you Brian Thomas Jr. in 2027 4th round pick. So that was number 1. Number 2, you give a first round pick straight up. Just a first round pick. That's it. You're done. That's it. That means you will not be drafting until your 3rd round pick in day 2. But your first round pick is going to be essentially Brian Thomas Jr. With 2.5 years on 2 years on a rookie deal, along with a 5th year option. If this was done in the offseason, if this was done during trade deadline, you'll still have the rest of this contract this season as well. So number 3. Number 3 is the one I kind of like the most. I think it makes sense for both parties. A 2027 second round pick, a 2027 6th round, 2026 5th round pick. Noah Ibenogamy, Deron Payne. Going to Jacksonville. And you will receive a 2027 7th round pick along with Brian Thomas Jr. Number 4. A first round pick in Brandon Coleman goes to Jacksonville. You get Brian Thomas Jr. and a 2028 5th rounder. Then the 5th one is a 2027 second round pick and this year's 3rd round pick. So I'm gonna type it in the chat right now, and you can tell what you think. So first one, second round pick, Deron Payne, Brandon Coleman, 2026 second round pick, 2026 6th round pick, the 2027 second round pick, Deron Payne and Brandon Coleman getting shipped out to Jacksonville. Number 2, just a first round pick. You got to do nothing else. 3rd package, first round pick along with Brandon Coleman, and you get back Brian Thomas in a 5th rounder. Fourth one was Noah Ibenogamy, Deron Payne, 2027 second round pick, and then 2026 fifth rounder for Brian Thomas in a 2027 fourth round pick. Then finally, the final one was first round pick in Brandon Coleman. No, I said that one. I said that one. It was Deron Payne, Brandon. No. Yeah, Deron Payne, Brandon Coleman, 2020. Actually, no, I'm tripping. It's a third round pick this year, second round pick next year. Um, so which one I like the most? So we got thoughts on Brian. What and do y'all want Brian Thomas Jr.? Let's say that too. Also, you got to think about this with the whole Coleman thing. Coleman active. Coleman had been inactive for a month. They don't want to play him. They don't want to play him. So I mean, he got this injury designation thing. I don't know what's going on. It's like they just soured on Brandon Coleman. Like Brandon Coleman is soured on playing guard. Like they keep switching his position. He doesn't like it. So I don't know. Maybe getting Brian Thomas Jr. will help you. Maybe packaging him up will allow them to get a guy that's already started in the NFL and can help their offensive line out. I don't mind that at all. We're not using him, so why not include him? It's kind of like a sweetener a little bit. Hey, he played left tackle, play left guard. He's gonna play right tackle. He can play for different positions. Use the guy. But he needs positions. He is a backup for you. You don't rookie contract. So hey, cheap labor, sweetener, right? With Ibenogamy, he's on his last year of his deal, and it feels like if you can get a guy like Brian Thomas Jr. and include Noah Ibenogamy when they're looking for defensive help, uh, that also makes sense as well. And Deron Payne's our most tradable assets. That's why I include him in every single deal beside the one that involves the first round pick. I'm not giving a first round pick and Deron Payne. I'm not doing that. So that's doing too much. But I would do a first round pick straight up if I had to. But or first round in Coleman, I get a pick back in exchange. This season wide open, pro. We got hope. We got hope, but I don't know if I can sell you a lot of hope, bro. I don't know, dog. It's gonna be kind of tough, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, but there is some hope on these streets. There is some hope on these streets for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. I'll have a selling hope video for y'all tomorrow. So if y'all want some, I want some selling hope. I give it to y'all tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Right for the game. I'll give y'all to at 12 noon tomorrow, right before the game starts. I want some hope. I want some hope. I'll give y'all some hope, man. Give y'all some hope, bro. I want some hope that I can get some tomorrow. Mhm. I'm uploading the video, Jacques, as we live. We uploading that video right now. I'm selling hope, man. I'm selling hope. As Louis T would say, I'm selling hope. I'm selling hope and a dream for y'all. But Brian Thomas Jr. is an interesting prospect, man. 87 catches, 1,282 yards last year, and 10 touchdowns. He struggled this year, only with 365 yards on 22 catches and a touchdown so far, and leads the league with 9 drops. That is kind of a problem, but I think that's something that can be mitigated if he can play with a guy like JD5. JD5 and I get the best out of his players, and I think a player of Brian Thomas's caliber, he will get the best out of him. I think also he's a successor to Terry McLaurin. He's only 23 years old. Terry's 30. So you have your future guy in the wings as Terry gets older, but also you got him and Terry right now. You know what I'm saying? And then Debo can become slightly more expendable if you get a guy like Brian Thomas Jr. I just think this makes a lot of sense for the Commander side of things. Does it make sense from the Jaguar side? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the Jaguars are looking for, but they are listening to calls. Now I said I would give a first round pick, but they gotta give me a pick pack in return. It's kind of like a very expensive pick swap. Like you getting like a fifth round pick in 2026, and you get your first round pick, and then you getting Brian Thomas Jr. Or you might be throwing like a Brandon Coleman, something like that as well. You won't be drafted until round 3, but that's fine. I can live with that if I'm getting a Brian Thomas Jr. in here to team up with. And if you do resign Debo, you know what I mean? You can maybe have the money if you give it a lot more and you get off of Payne's contract. You might move him at the deadline so you can try to get some draft capital for him as well. So maybe you can get a third out of him or a fourth out of him. I mean, you have like a couple of thirds, you have a third, third or fourth, a couple of fifths, a couple of sixths. Um, Maybe you can package the thirds and fourths to go out in the second round and get a pass rush if you want. It's things you can do. Man, you can get off Lattimore's deal. You'll be off the paying money, so you'll save about $30 million in cap space roughly. You can go get a Trey Hendrickson and kind of be like a 2-year band-aid for you as you're looking to get your edge rusher of the future. And then like you can go ahead and draft the rest of the guys you need to draft and re-sign guys you need to re-sign. I think getting a guy like David Njoku, stuff like that will help you out in the offseason. But like my man, like homie said, man, the season ain't over yet. So us out here talking about the offseason, I think it's kind of dangerous right now. But just something you want to keep in mind too. That I don't know, oh, we don't need to trade draft picks. Oh yeah, don't do that. Don't trade draft picks. We need a draft picks. I'm not saying we don't need draft picks, but we need elite talent. And this is what he brings. He just brings elite talent. If you are if you're the Commanders here. Um what's our package? One, two, three, four. All right, so those are all the package I got for you guys. They're all in the comment section. You can pick any of those packages and pick which one you like the most. On the live chat, those are all the packages. Most of them are involving Deron Payne, of course, but I just think it just makes the best sense to, you know, get a guy like this. You got to have to give up a really good defensive player. They're looking for defensive help too, so it all also makes sense as well that they will want a guy like Noah Benogamy and Deron Payne and guys like that. Um, um, yeah, I think it's going to be very, very tough to get a guy like this if the Jaguars are moving him. If the Jaguars are moving him, but I just think it makes perfect sense to do this. You get your successor. You want to keep Debo, you can keep Debo. And then you got Brian Thomas Jr., Debo Samuel, and Terry McLaurin. It just feel like your offense is unstoppable. And I think I know we need edge rusher, we need defensive help. Why help the offense? Da, 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 da. We drafted Jalen Lane, we drafted Luke McCaffrey. Can they step up? And I think they will step up. Right now, I'm not trying to rely on them stepping up. And also, not if you're done with the Debo business, you'll get a compensatory pick if you sign with another team. If you don't make a bunch of big moves, I think we're gonna make one big signing and a bunch of midi, kind of chill, you know, smaller signings. So I don't think I think we had to get some compensatory compensation for a lot of these guys as well. And that guys that leave out of free agency. So that's kind of that. Um, the Bengals losing to the actually while I'm here, let's review the slate that's so far that happened in the week 8 slate so far. Let's review the week 8 slate while we're here. And I'll go and wrap up the stream because I'm going to go ahead and hop back on live later on with the game preview of this Chiefs game later on, about an hour or so. Let's review the week 8 slate real quick and so what happened today so far in week 8. We all know the Chargers beat the crap out the Vikings. The Vikings season is on life support. And I don't think a guy like JJ McCarthy can save their season. I think their season's pretty much a wrap. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let's see what happened here. Saints, they're up 0-0. All you can do, Colts are up 3-0. That's fine. Who cares? Jags, Pittsburgh and Packers play tonight. Aaron Rodgers playing against his former team. Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers get to face off for the first time since Aaron Rodgers has left Green Bay for greener pastures, going to the Jets and now the Steelers in his swan song season. That should be an interesting game later on tonight. Dolphins beating the fire out of Atlanta. Goodness gracious. I'm going to say this, bro. I wish we got to play Kirk Cousins. Goodness gracious. Scored 10 points today. 10 points. 10. That's all you can muster? 10 points? 10 points? I bet Kurt turned the ball over a lot today. I bet you he did. What? So what happened? Oh, he couldn't run the football. Okay, yeah, they ain't couldn't run the ball. He couldn't run the ball at all. At least I probably get going brain out. Let's see what team stats and see what happened in this. I just wanted to turn the ball over the way they kept. No turnovers. Interesting. Oh, he had one turnover. Okay. That lost fumble. That might have been Kirk who fumbled it then. But yeah. Tua, 4 touchdown passes today. After throwing 6 interceptions, and we called him Tua turnover. Apparently Tua Tagovailoa had a change of heart. She stopped wanting to turn the ball over. He had to repent of turning the ball over. Goodness gracious almighty. That's insane. Yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on in Atlanta, but boy, they have no business being 3-5. None. I don't know what the hell is going on. What the heck is going on in Atlanta? God forgive me for that. I don't know what the heck going on in Atlanta, but they should not be. They should not be 3-5. I don't know what in the heck they got going on, but boy, it ain't looking too hot. The Jets get their first win. Congratulations to Aaron Glenn. Yay for Aaron Glenn, got his first dub. I can't believe this. The Bengals gave up 24 points in the fourth quarter. I'm going to say it again. They gave up 24 points in the fourth quarter. I get you don't have Trey Henderson today, but bro, what are y'all doing on these streets? I need to know. Because this is uncivilized. The Bengals are going to miss the playoffs. I'm going to stand 10 toes on that. And golly, Breece Hall went the heck off in the fourth quarter. Bro had, I'm gonna say this because I'm a fantasy owner, right? I'm a Breece Hall owner. Breece Hall had 6 fantasy points, going to the fourth quarter. He has 26 fantasy points in the fourth quarter. I'm going to say it one more time for the whole peanut gallery. He had 6 fantasy points going into the fourth quarter. He had 26 fantasy points in the fourth quarter. The Bengals should be ashamed of their nonsense. The Bengals are done. You cannot lose to the New York Jets and expect to make the playoffs. Get the Bengals the heck out of my face. You are a bad football team. That's bad. That's bad football behavior. You don't do that. That is uncivilized. You deserve to miss the playoffs. That is all. The past 6-2, bro. They're the 2025 AFC version of the Commanders, bro. Second-year quarterback, hooping, playing great football. Drake May is hooping. Okay, Drake May is having a heck of a season. I already believed in Drake. Dude. I knew that. I wanted to draft Drake for our Commanders. I wanted him to put on the burgundy and gold, but we had Jaden Daniels, and I am very, very, very happy with JD5. Do not get me wrong, but I love me some Drake, man. I got a lot of respect for this kid. I think he's a hooper. I think he's a heck of a passer. I think he's a heck of a runner. I think he's starting to get really, really having the intellect up there, getting going, and he's just lighting it up, bro. He's making all these crazy bros, and he's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. And the Browns dropping to 2-6. Who cares? The Browns were not a good football team anyway. And they got blown out today. Exactly what happened. When you're bad and you play a good football team, they go put that belt to you. And they got that belt. They grabbed that belt for them. Before I get to the Eagles, Giants recap, we did see Cam Scatterboo go down. Prayers for him and his health. He did dislocate his ankle. That is going to be a long recovery, probably 6 to 7 months for him. Pray that he does get back on the field. I pray that the Lord gives him strength and intestinal fortitude and time to look at his Bible and seek him while he is found, while he is injured and recovering from this dislocated ankle in Jesus' name. Let's get to the recap, though. Jalen Hurts is out there dealing, man. Jalen Hurts is dealing. Saquon Barkley at 150 yards rushing. This is his breakout game of the year. He played extremely well today, and that was great to see. If you're an Eagles fan, this is what you wanted to see: a bounce attack, the passing attack, get it going. They had no Megatron. They had no Decepticon today. They had no Decepticon, no problem. Jalen Hurts 15 for 20, 150, 179. I'm about to say 151 counting sack yardage. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. One went to Jahan Dotson. Shout out to Han for a touchdown catch today. One, I think 2 went to Dallas Goedert, and then the other one was to Devontae Smith. Saquon Barkley, 10.7 yards per carry, 14 carries for 150 yards and a touch himself. That was 65-yarder. Tank Bisbee came off the bench. I wish they just played Saquon the whole game, but no, whatever. 9 carries for 104 yards and no touchdown. He had 11.6 yards to carry. He wanted to kind of close the game out. Devontae Smith, 6 for 84, no touchdowns. Jahan Dotson, 1 for 40 and a touch. And then I went to Saquon Barkley. He also caught a touchdown pass as well from Jalen Hurts. So Saquon with 4 for 24 and a touch, and then Dallas got 3 for 28, 9.3 yards a catch, and also 2 touchdowns, and caught all 3 of his targets from one Jalen Hurts. This was a heck of a performance by the Eagles offense. The defense kind of did Doug Dizzle as well. Prayers out to Cam Scatterboo, that sucks. But Jackson Dart didn't look too bad himself. 14 for 24, 193 and a touch. Wasn't too bad. He did get sacked 5 times, though. That kind of sucks. Tyrone Tracy came in for Cam Scatterboo and got 10 for 39. Jackson Dart also rushed for a touchdown, well, 6 carries for 2.8 yards a carry and a touchdown run himself as well. So New York was dominated, but Jackson Dart still showed that those flashes of greatness that you've seen from a young quarterback, and that's all you're looking for the rest of the season if you're a Giants fan. to casino seeing Jackson Dart develop into the quarterback you want him to be. So that's what we see. Bills put that belt. Grab the belt. Grab it. They extended that belt and beat the fire out of the Carolina Panthers for their first home loss of the season. They were, I believe, 3-0 at home. They're now dropping to 3-1 at home and 4-4 back to 500. And then and the Bills are now 5-2, come off their bye week, and they obliterated the Panthers. This is the Bills team we've been looking for all season long. Josh Allen, 12 for 19, 163 and a touch. 2 sacks for 20 yards. Efficient, nothing crazy there from Josh. But the player of the day, James Cook the third, as he had 19 carries for 216, 11.4 yards a carry, which is insane, and then 2 touchdown runs for one James Cook. Khalil Shakir, 6 receptions for 88 yards and a touch, including a 54-yarder to pretty much ice the game at that point. That's when the belt was applied. At that point in the game, the belt was applied. Andy Dalton probably was garbage. I ain't gonna cap. Oh yeah, he was garbage. 60 for 24, 175 and a pick. He was absolutely terrible. 7 sacks for 45 yards, sack yards. He was terrible. Rico Dowd on 8 carries. When you're down 100, you can't really run the football. Chuba Hubbard had 12 for 34. They was running the ball down 37. They was doing anything. I don't know. That was just bad, bro. That was a bad look. And the Panthers got that belt put to him. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Belt. Belt to behind was applied to the Carolina Panthers today. They got destroyed. Ravens beat the Bears with Tyler Huntley at quarterback, as Lamar did not play today. He still has a hamstring strain. So I think he'll be playing Thursday night on Thursday Night Football. But yeah. Bears got that belt. Yes, sir. So hope we can advance back to 500 so we can, get back into that playoff race. But yeah, nobody Commanders. The Ravens look good today, bro. They had a pick on Caleb Williams. They was up 7. They punched it back in the end zone. They were up 3. They punched in the end zone, got the ball back again, punched it back in the end zone. Went up 30-13, and that was all she wrote. Texas beat the Niners. I was a little surprised about this. I did pick the Niners on the DT Football Podcast YouTube channel. But CJ, I think CJ played decent today from what I saw. Didn't see a lot. I didn't get to watch the full game, but we'll see what the box score they're hitting on. Yeah, he played pretty well. Not surprised. Because when you score 26 points, if you're the Texans, this is kind of an offensive outburst from you. Outside of the Ravens game, they haven't scored a lot of points this year. Their offense has been a little sporadic, but this is a very efficient day from CJ Stroud, the fourth, aka shout out my Lord, say Jesus Christ, man. 30 for 39, 318, 8.2 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good, efficient day from the young man here today. Shout out to him. Willie Marks, 11 for 62. And then Nick Chubb chipped in 17 carries for 56 yards as well. Good day by the running backs. And even CJ Stroud had 7 carries for 30 yards on some scrambles. So that's pretty good to see as well. Now, we know they weren't design runs. We know that. We know that. I know that, and you know that. So we don't got to do it nonsense. No Nico Collins today. I think he was out today too, right? Yeah. So Fountain Nico Collins. So this is a really good performance by CJ Stroud today. Woody Marks, 4 for 49 receiving. Jalen Noel, he had 5 for 63. Xavier Hutchinson led the team with 5 for 69, and also his second career touchdown this week as well. Jaden Higgins with 4 for 34, the second round pick out of Iowa State, I believe. Yep, 8.5 yards per catch, and then a touchdown reception as well. Dalton Schultz 2 for 24 as well. Just the ball distribution was great by CJ Stroud today. He was very impressive today. 30 completions, line went to a lot of different players. And I have a special guest. Hey, little man. Wee. Hello. Hi, TJ. Hi, TJ. Hi, TJ. What's going on with the TJ? You gonna say hi? You talk? You talk? Say hi? You just started talking. You don't want to talk no more? Okay. You don't want to talk no more, y'all. But yeah. So yeah, no surprise here. Or not a surprise that the Vikings, not Vikings, the Niners lost the game, but when CJ Stroud plays that well, it's hard to beat the Texans. And that's pretty much about all the games that so far happened in week 8. All these other games are currently in progress. Broncos are up on the Cowboys 7-3. Bucks and Saints are still tied at zip apiece. And then the Colts are up 3-0 on the Titans with the ball marching down the field as we speak. So that is going to do it for today's video. I hope we trade for Brian Thomas Jr. That would be nice. If not, is what it is. I had the 5 trade packages in the chat for you guys. Also, I just give a quick recap of week 8 so far in the National Football League. So I do have little TJ with me. We'll go ahead and go live for the game preview after this. And then, yeah, man. So next time, y'all be safe, stay healthy. See y'all about a half an hour.